And then Carl just kept offering everybody spam at the Alabama Education Conference. I just didn't understand it. Oh, are we live? It's Monday at 7 o'clock on... Yeah, piss. It's been a long day. It's 7 o'clock on a Monday afternoon, so you know what time it is. It's time for your weekly episode of SCV Chat. I'm your host for the evening, Moose, and before we get started, please remember, the views and opinions expressed in this broadcast are not necessarily the views and opinions of the SCV. It's GEC, Northern Division Brigade Camp subsidiaries. How is everybody doing in Dixieland tonight? We have our executive director, the baseball Hall of Famer himself, Adam Southern, on tonight. How are you doing, Adam?
I'm well. How are you, Mr. Moose?
I cannot complain. I got to see a beaver this weekend.
Hey, anytime you get to go to Buc-ee's is a great time. I hope that's what you're referring to.
Yeah, it is. There's picture proof of it. But it's been a good time, and it's good to see everybody. I see on the YouTube side of things, past Commander-in-Chief, the Lone Ranger, Chuck McMichael, Jason Lloyd with spam and eggs are delicious. Kentucky Division Commander Kyle Thompson on time tonight.
I feel like I got to see him this past weekend.
I feel like we have to knock on some wood. I mean, was he late to coming to see you, Adam?
You know, he wasn't there when we opened, so yeah, he was a few hours after opening time. So in my book, that's late. So
that is.
He did late. Bring me a cigar though, so it equals out.
Okay, that makes up for it. I'm expecting one, but some luck. Joy from Loy, not Joy, from Camp 648 of Hot Springs, Arkansas. Good to see you. Camp 49 of Dallas, Texas in the chat. Camp 778 in the chat. I don't know who did our intro music, Carl. It's a mystery. It is a mystery. Past Commander-in-Chief, the T-Rex himself, Jason Boshears on YouTube tonight. Good to see you, Commander. Jay, good to see you. Oh, you have a bubble gum cigar for me? That's real nice. That's I'm dying. I'm dying. Thank you. Smiley from Camp 1452, Mississippi in the chat. Good to see you, Commander. Let's see here. David, good to see you. Floyd, good to see you. Faversham Carl, our Army of Tennessee commander, our Army of Tennessee councilman, Roy and Miss Linda Hudson in the chat. John from Camp 1388. And, of course, Dr. Mitchum from Camp 1714 of West Monroe, Louisiana. It's good to see everybody. It's good to see everybody. Dennis, good to see you. And James. All right, before we get started, so I don't have to interrupt Adam any, so he can just talk and look so pretty. Remember the deadline, and we'll make a post tomorrow. But send your pictures of your Confederate veterans, their rank, name, and where and whom they served with to scvyouth@gmail.com, and you'll be featured on a special video, hopefully releasing this Friday. It depends on how many more pictures I get. Will be depending on that. If I get a lot more pictures, could be some time. If I don't get a lot more pictures, it could be early Friday morning. So please blow us up. Let's honor your veteran this April. Of course, April is Confederate History Month and Mississippi Confederate History and Heritage Month. And I know a lot of other states have different names for it. I think Texas isn't theirs Confederate Heroes Day. Or am I thinking of something else?
No, I think you're right.
Yeah, it can be a group photo. If you don't have a singular picture of them, that's fine. Just kind of tell me where that group photo is from, and I'll add that in there too. But yes, please send them all. We want to honor your Confederate veteran this April with, again, a special video like we did last year. Actually, I'll put the link to the one last year, but to kind of help me out because we need to organize the chat SCV chat documents. Please resend pictures, even if you sent them in last year. It would just really be beneficial to me to make sure I don't miss anybody. And just send them in, and let's get to work. Speaking of which, starting April 1st at 12 p.m., we'll have a special video every Wednesday, a special rerun that highlights some of our best episodes here at SCV Chat, again in honor of April being Confederate History Month. Tomorrow we start off at 12 p.m. I know it's not a Wednesday, but we decided to start off here anyway. We decided to start off with Carl Jones talking about why the war was fought. So check that out. It will be live on YouTube and Facebook. And then every Wednesday at 7 p.m., there'll be a rerun for all of April, highlighting some of the best SCV Chat has to offer. So make sure you tune into those, especially if you haven't seen them before. There's a cat that is just really not liking that I'm talking.
Yeah, my cat's wanting to make an appearance on the show tonight, evidently.
Well, I mean, my dog's made an appearance. Yeah. I mean, we all have to get our 5 seconds of fame in. Animals are very, very needy creatures, and they need attention.
This one's more needy than not. It's she's a little senior citizen. She's an old girl.
Oh, oops. My phone's still on. Uh-oh. But yeah, so please, again, even if you sent in a picture last year, resend it so I don't miss you. I would hate to leave someone out that sent one in just because I haven't had time to organize our documents here at SCV Chat. So please, please, please resend them. And we'll try to have that up again by Friday, at the earliest, Saturday, probably at the latest. But yeah, check that out. And of course, we have all those videos. As of course, it's April. So, you know, we're going to have a lot of great SCV Chat episodes lined up. And we're putting all the pressure on Adam to kick us off right.
So, don't put pressure on me, brother.
Well, I mean, who else better than the famous Adam Southern?
Well, I hope y'all had a good time at the Alabama Education Conference. I went last year, really enjoyed that. That was a really good event. So anytime you can get with your Southern brothers and sisters, I know it's a good time. So reunion season's getting ready to kick off. So we'll be getting together with a lot of folks coming up. And I'll be with our compatriots in Missouri in April. So looking forward to seeing them at their division reunion. And I can't think of where else I'm going, but I know I will be in Missouri, and this is Mule Week in Columbia. So Mule Day is this Saturday. This is a real big event here in Columbia. So it has been busy for us. We'll have a lot of out-of-town guests all week. I do a lot with Mule Day, tried to anyway, but so this is going to be a real busy week for us, but I'm glad I could take some time and come on SCV Chat. Always good to see Moose and give y'all updates about our museum. And I'm ready to kick this off whenever you are, brother.
All right, that sounds great. And now, everybody, let us get in our Hearth and Home episode with starting off first this wonderful picture, which I have lots of questions about.
Well, we shared with you last month pictures of the new display cases at the museum. And we're now starting to fill those cases with artifacts. And this is one of those artifacts. And we may have talked a little bit about it before on a previous episode, but this is a melodeon. And it's a small pump organ. And it can be transported. This disassembles great. And it's very compact. Those legs come apart and you can fold them up. And then the keyboard, of course, as small as it is, this can all fit basically in a big cedar trunk if you wanted it to. I picked this up from St. Louis, Missouri, on my way back to Tennessee. This is actually a Tennessee item, so it's basically coming home. During the war between the states, it was here in Tennessee, and they played this for Confederate soldiers. This is an instrument that's easy for a lady to transport, so they put it on the back of a wagon. They took it to the spot where the Confederate soldiers were mustering, and as they marched off, they played the song Just Before Battle, Mother. And that's the sheet music that you see on the back of that display case. That's what was played on that instrument for the Confederate soldiers. So very fitting that all this tied together and we were able to bring that back to Tennessee. And this sheet music that we selected was printed by Confederate Press in 1864 in Richmond. So Confederate music, sheet music, and a Confederate instrument. Really neat.
That is awesome.
And this is another one of the cases that we've put together. This is a case that we put together about honoring the Confederate dead, and we have on one side a Confederate monument. And this is one of the first, I know it's the first one in Tennessee, may possibly be the first one in the United States that was a monument for unknown Confederate soldiers. This was put up in Union City, Tennessee, and this is a scale replica of it that one of their camp members made. And forgive me, I don't remember the camp, but maybe they're on chat tonight can tell me which camp they are. But they have loaned this to the museum. You can see a postcard image of what the monument looks like there to the left. So it gives you an idea of what the monument looks like in person and as model. It's a really good representation of it. Mm-hmm. And I've been to Union City before to see this monument, and I think it looks really nice. But it helps us tell the story about how we have honored our Confederate dead over the years. And on the other side of the case, if you go on to the next picture, we have a government-issued stone. Now, I don't know exactly how we've come to have this, but we have it now. I think this was damaged when it was shipped, because there is a little bit of damage to the top right of that tombstone, so it was probably replaced. But we have this government-issued stone, and we also have in the case of variations of the Southern Cross or the Iron Cross there that we see in so many cemeteries. And of course, those started out like many other memorials, something the UDC put together and started putting out. So the one that's actually black and sitting on the base of the case there, it actually has the UDC stamp on it, and it has a number on it. And I'm sure I could call their headquarters, and more than likely they could tell me whose grave that was originally on. And then the other one is the small little 5-pointed star that you see there. I haven't seen many of those. Usually when I do see them, they're for Union veterans. But this one actually says CSA veteran on it. And again, I'm sure that was originally on a Confederate soldier's grave at some point, but people steal these artifacts, and sadly, they end up in scrap yards or at flea markets. I see them a lot, but these are some that have been returned to us for safekeeping. So we're able to put those on display in our museum. And I like the stories that we can tell through these artifacts. And one of my favorite stories is about the legend of the pointed marker. Have you ever heard that, Moose, how the pointed markers came to be?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know how the Confederates were forced to dig the graves, and as they were digging the graves, the Yankees were sitting on tombstones and watching the Confederates dig. So supposedly the Confederate soldiers said, when y'all bury me, make sure my tombstone is pointed so no Yankee sits on my headstone. So that's why all the Confederate graves were supposedly pointed, so nobody would sit on them. Now, I think that's probably a legend, but that's a legend that helps tell the story. And Southern graves, we do know, are pointed. So I've just always enjoyed that story. So we've included it in the cemetery, in the museum. But we let people know that it's more than likely metaphorical. But, yeah. All right, let's see what else we have. Now, this is something that I've been putting together. Confederate inventions. And Of course, we know the Confederacy had a lot of great inventions during the war. We had the Hunley, we had torpedoes, and all these different military driven innovations that helped them during the war. But post-war, our Confederate veterans did a lot of inventing. Probably the most famous one was Pemberton with Coca-Cola. Of course, that was from Atlanta, Georgia. He developed this in a drugstore, and it went on to become the most famous soft drink in the world, made by a Confederate soldier. Up until the 1940s, they were still using Confederates in their advertising. So you can see in the display, along with a bottle from the early 1900s, there's an advertisement that features Stonewall Jackson that they used during World War II. So,
oh, wow.
Hasn't been too long ago, they were still using Confederates in their advertising. Now, these are some things that I did not know that I've found out over the years. Listerine, our most famous mouthwash, was developed by a Confederate veteran. Dr. Titchener's, which is another mouthwash today, that was also developed by a Confederate veteran. The Ouija board was originally patented by a Confederate veteran. And cotton candy was actually invented by a Confederate veteran. And these are just some that I've been able to find out over the years. There's another one that I'm working on, trying to find some artifacts to go along with it. But you ever remember watching the movie Dolphin's Tail, about the dolphin that lost its tail and they put a prosthetic tail on it? The company that helped that dolphin was Hanger Clinic. Now, Hanger Clinic was started by a Confederate veteran, last name Hanger. And he, of course, lost a limb during the war. He lost his leg above the kneecap. So he had a two-part prosthetic. Back then, they didn't do much for you. He just had a peg leg, and it was hard for him to get around. It was uncomfortable for him. So he developed a prosthetic leg that had a knee that would function and bend. And post-war, Hanger Clinic becomes one of the best prosthetic makers in the country. And he actually had patents to the Confederate government for his prosthetic legs. And they're still in business today, called Hanger Clinic, started by a Confederate veteran. So that's something else we'll be putting in the case. I'd like to find a prosthetic limb to put in there with it. I know we can put copies of the movie Dolphin's Tale to help tell that story. Confederate soldiers have made a lot of contributions to this country, and these are just a few of those. And if you know of any others, just let us know. I would love to add more to this case.
Yeah, for sure. That's an awesome display.
And this is something that we're working on too. This is another case that's kind of in progress. Before the SCV and in conjunction with the SCV, there have been other organizations. The UDC, of course, for women, is one of those organizations that's done a lot to preserve Confederate history and honor our ancestors. But there have been other groups, such as the Confederate Cavalry Corps, that was made up just of veterans that were from Forrest Cavalry, people that served with Forrest over the years. So you can see in the frame there, that's some stationery and a cover that is from the Forrest Cavalry Corps. So we're going to try to make a case that talks about some of these other organizations that were there before the SCV came along, because all of it leads to us and helps tell our story. There's another group that was called the CSA, and they were the Confederate Survivors Association. We have a lot of Confederate Survivors Association prints that we'll be putting on display as part of this. And also some Stonewall Jackson stuff that I think we have pictured coming up next.
That is just awesome, first off.
So our friend from Mexico came up recently, and he's got a lot of stuff on loan to us at the museum. And this is another piece that he's brought to us on loan. It's a UCV uniform, but what really makes this special is what's in the buttonhole there. There's a little badge that has Stonewall Jackson on it. And these things are rare as hen's teeth. You look, see Stonewall Jackson in the center. These are just for men that were from the Stonewall Brigade. So had about 6,000 men that were in the Stonewall Brigade post-war. 200-300 men tops survived from that brigade. So you had to be a survivor of the Stonewall Brigade to get this pin and wear it to reunions. So this is rare. So you can't think of how many that have been lost to time, how many don't survive anymore, and then there weren't that many of them to begin with. So this is a really nice example of that. And glad to have that on loan. And let's see, there's another Stonewall piece coming up. Right here we have some survivors of the Stonewall Brigade. And if you look at their buttonholes, this isn't a really great picture. I found it off newspapers.com. But if you look in some of their buttonholes, you can see the button. And you can see it really good on this next picture coming up. Yeah, right under his Cross of Honor, you can see that Stonewall Brigade badge. And this is Captain Bumgardner, who was part of Stonewall's brigade.
That is just awesome.
And another Stonewall piece that I had no idea these existed, but there's about 5,000 of them out there. There's a medallion out there that has Stonewall Jackson's face on it. And did you get the pictures of that one? I hope you did. If not, let's see. Yes, that's supposed to be Stonewall Jackson. Not a very good likeness of him, but this was designed by a French sculptor or artist, a Southern soldier who was was either wounded or had resigned his commission. He went to France and was a Georgia diplomat to France. And he found out that Stonewall Jackson died in 1863. And he wanted to do something to commemorate Jackson and to honor the Stonewall Brigade. So he had 5,000 of these medallions made up. And his idea was to pass these out to all the soldiers in the Stonewall Brigade. Now, have to remember, there's a war going on. And by the time these medals are post-production, he's got to get them back to the States. And the Confederate Navy, kind of non-existent by 1864. Not many ships still in service. So he gets them on a blockade runner and wasn't able to get them in until kind of summer of 1864. And they had to come into North Carolina. And if you want to show the back, it shows some of the battle honors of the Stonewall Brigade, all the engagements that they were involved in up to a certain point. I guess these are up to probably late 63, early 64. So anything that they were involved in past 64 wouldn't be on this coin. So by the time they get to the States, it's not looking good for the Confederacy. Yeah. He can't find the members of the Stonewall Brigade to pass these out. And they just go into storage. And they're in storage for years and years. And finally, they're going to tear down the building that they're stored in. And they find these 5,000 medals. And the man who had the medals cast, he had passed away in 1865. So his widow tries to start giving these to the members of the Stonewall Brigade that survived. So probably just a few hundred men at this point. The ones that she couldn't give out, she tried to sell for $1 a piece. So you have to think there's a limit of 5,000 of these coins out there, and we have one in the museum now. Really nice looking coin. I would like to find one for my personal collection one day. But
me too.
I had no idea anything like that ever existed.
Me, someone said it looked like a Caesar coin.
It did. It really did.
It did.
You put up a comment from past Commander-in-Chief McMichael, or Councilman McMichael. Dr. Titchener was commander of the Louisiana UCV. He was a very interesting guy, and he supposedly came up with his formula, Dr. Tincture's tonic or whatever he calls it. He came up with that during the war. He credited that with saving his leg. He was wounded, and he came up with this formula, poured it on his wounds, and it's helped save his limb. So,
oh wow.
It was used for all kinds of stuff in the early 1900s, but now it's just recommended for a mouthwash. And there's also a Dr. Titchener's toothpaste that they still make today, too. So we have a bottle of the formula that they still have. I think past Commander-in-Chief Boshears loaned that to us. They gave him a bottle of that when he went to Louisiana to speak, I think. So he gave us that bottle on loan. And I actually found one of the original bottles on eBay, and those original bottles had the battle flag on them. So that was really cool to see.
Oh, for sure. For sure. Yeah, no, interesting find indeed. We are going to take a quick commercial break and then be back with the rest of our wonderful Executive Directors program in a second. This commercial break is, of course, sponsored by scvchat.com. If you want to see some interesting videos, our favorite archive videos, watch live, support us via our t-shirt store, which has a lot of great products. Hey, and so much more information you can find. Go check out scvchat.com. But if you want to support us and help us reclaim the narrative 1 week at a time, make new content, not only exclusively for our Patreon members, but to get back on the offensive against the false narrative of our history, go join the Patreon for $10 a month. You get a lot of cool perks. And, I mean, you get to really help SCV Chat not only stay on the air, but continue to push the envelope. So go check us out on those. Links are in the chat now, and we'll be right back after this quick Pop-Tart break.
There is a place nestled in the rolling farmland of southern Middle Tennessee. A home constructed in 1837, nearly lost to the ravages of war. Saved by a servant and a Confederate general. A place where families loved and lost. If walls could talk, what stories could be told? If a place, a home, can feel love, loss, pain, surely this is one of those places. Nearby is a more recent structure, and inside are the stories of heroes and heroines, stories of battles won and lost, stories of sacrifices made by the people of its native soil. A place that will tell the true and complete story of the Southland and the war fought for its freedom. From the causes that led to the conflict to the modern-day struggles to protect Southern history. Historic Elm Springs and the Confederate Museum at Elm Springs are the general headquarters for the Sons of Confederate Veterans. A place where the story of the Southland and its historic struggle is preserved and told. Come and discover your history.
Adam.
Sorry about that.
So yeah, thank you for, of course, our sponsor. And again, wonderful commercial break that always gives me chills. Wonderful job and showing off the beauty of Elm Springs. But again, make sure to go check us out at scvchat.com to see some of our favorite videos, our favorite episodes, watch live, check out our t-shirts. And with Reunion coming up in July, you get Reunion updates. What are the SCV Chat Awards? and so much more. So go check us out on scvchat.com. And again, for $10 a month, you can help us in reclaiming the narrative 1 week at a time. You get exclusive content, 2 of your own shows, and you get sneak peeks at some of the major products that are productions that we're hoping to give product-wise. There's a lot of great content that we have coming down the pipe here at SCV Chat, and Patreon makes it all possible. So make sure to go check us out on Patreon as well. And, of course, real quick again, if you weren't here at the beginning of the episode, send a picture of your Confederate veteran to honor them with our in our special April Confederate History Month video honoring all our veterans. Make sure to send a picture, their name, rank to scvyouthoutreach@gmail.com. If you don't have a picture of them, a picture of their stone, their service record, anything, please send it in so we can honor our veterans. Even if you send it in last year, send it in again this year. And I guess this is news. Conroe will be back next week. That's more of a warning. If you don't want to have to see Conroe, don't tune in next Monday. But no, we're happy the songbird of our generation is coming back next Monday. We have missed him. I cannot wait to throw all of April on him as I take a vacation. And he can just suffer alone for a while, planning all of April. But no, it's good to have Conroe back, and make sure to tune in next week to see him and Past Commander-in-Chief Larry McClooney talk about Fort Sumter and Beauregard. All right. And you, Jinx, you owe me a certain beverage.
Water, right?
We could go with that, I suppose. I was thinking of the more stronger variety.
Okay. Something with corn in it.
Not that strong.
Okay.
that one scares me. All right. But Adam, without any further ado, that's all I got to say. So let's dive back into your business, kind sir.
Let's see what we have after the medallion. I'm lost. So
we have this beautiful flag.
All right. Yeah, there's another great item that came in. The great thing about my job is you never know what's going to come in from day to day. You can see the boxes back behind there. We had, and this is no exaggeration or joke, we had over 400 books come in 2 days. So I have a lot of work to do in the library. But this battle flag came in, and this is, you're looking at it, you know immediately this is not a war between the states item. This is a printed flag. It is from the Korean War. And this came from a local soldier from Columbia, Tennessee, who was in Korea, and he was ordered to take a hill, and it was Kelly's Hill in 1952. And as he is taking the hill, he was ordered to wave a flag once they had cleared the Chinese. And he said this was the only flag he had with him. So he attached it to his rifle, and he signaled command that they had taken the hill. And he packed this up and sent it back with this letter to Columbia, Tennessee. And as I was a kid, I remember going into the local American Legion Hall and seeing this hanging on the wall. And unfortunately, our American Legion closed its location in Columbia. And his family, this belonged to a Captain Henry Borum. His family went and got this flag, and they are SCV members. One of his family members is. He went and got the flag and said, I know where it needs to go. And he brought it to us. So we'll be putting this on display pretty soon. I think it's a really neat item. We know our Southern soldiers have carried the battle flag into every war since the war between the states. And this is one from Korea.
That is just wonderful.
Yeah.
And speaking of a couple books that you have to go through.
Oh yeah, there's the full table. That gives you the full shot there. So this, if you were at headquarters at the beginning of the month, we had our GEC meeting in this room, and this is what's happened since the GEC meeting. So I'll be battling this and trying to get it under control, and so we can have a meeting in there in October. So. And I think there's more items coming in the next couple of weeks, which is a great thing to happen. I'm not complaining a bit.
Now, I have seen this next picture, and I will say, if you just like feel inclined, since you shot me in the forehead at the moose hunt, to get me some of these items, I wouldn't be hurt.
Oh yeah. This is wanted to share some of our SCV merchandise today, and we were gifted a while back a lot of mannequins, and I was driving through town with all these mannequins in the back seat, and some of them were females, and they needed to be covered up, and I was hoping nobody would see me driving through town with all these naked people in the back, but Jill and Eric said, we can put one of those to use. So Eric had a spare jacket, and this is one of those special made SCV jackets.
Wow.
So if you open this up, it's got the silk lining inside, and I think it says SCV inside. This is I don't know what exactly the size is, but if it's your size, it's for sale. But we have a lot of great items. If you want to dress up full SCV, we have SCV cufflinks, SCV bow ties. You can see the SCV lapel pins, and of course the officers' medals that we have as well. So we can deck you out if you want to come to headquarters or go to our online store, scv.org. We can fix you up.
Well, someone I just got called fat in the chat.
I'm glad they're picking on you and not me. I guess they're saying if it won't fit Moose, it's definitely not going to fit Adam. So,
because I was about to say, well, I'm going to try that on next time I'm up there, and someone legit right before the words come out of my mouth, Jason Lloyd says suits looks a bit small for a moose emoji. So I have been called fat on my own show now. That's a new one. 5 years of this. 5 years, and that's the first time I've just been called quite large. Which, I mean, I can't say he's lying, but I have dreams, Dag Nabbit. I would love SCV-themed jackets, shirts.
He may just want to buy this so it can be his inspiration piece. I'm working to get in this jacket here.
Depending on how small it is, there might not be any inspiration that's going to make that happen.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. And now Sean saying that maybe he wants it. And Todd is telling me he found a new moose onesie. We're just going to strip right through that into Adam's next topic, which is events.
All right. So coming up on April 19th, I'm calling this Columbia Confederate History Day. We are having a memorial service at Rose Hill Cemetery, and that's where our local Confederate monument is in Columbia, Tennessee. The UDC always has a memorial service there at the Confederate section in Rose Hill Cemetery. 120 Confederate soldiers buried in this one section. Beautiful Confederate monument placed there by the UDC in the 1880s. So this was pre-UDC, actually. So they have a great speaker lined up this year. This is past Commander-in-Chief Jason Boshears. He's going to be the speaker there on the 19th at 10 a.m., and we're trying to get as many people there as we can. So if you want to come to Columbia, Tennessee, we're going to make it worth your while this day. You come here at 10 a.m., you come to the memorial service. Then at 11 a.m., our museum's going to open, and we'll be open until 4 p.m. So there may be some food there. The UDC ladies have they're all good cooks. My wife's one of them, so they're good cooks. And they're going to have some refreshments there, and you're welcome to buy admission to the museum and visit there from 11 until 4. And then at 4:30, we're going back to the cemetery if you want to join us. And we're having the Confederates of Rose Hill walking tour. And we're going to take you around to some of the Confederate graves in Rose Hill Cemetery. My wife and I are both local historians, and we'll be leading the tour. And we have a lot of great people there to talk about. Major Nathaniel Chairs, the man who was forced to go surrender to U.S. Grant at Fort Donelson. He's buried there at Rose Hill. Brigadier General, I forget who he is, Carter, excuse me, John C. Carter. He's buried at Rose Hill. He was killed at the Battle of Franklin. Dunnington was a captain in the Confederate Navy. There's many great stories there in Rose Hill Cemetery. Over 370 Confederate soldiers in the cemetery. So we have a lot of people we can talk about, but we're going to try to keep it to about 45 minutes. So if not, we could keep you in there all day long. But if you want to come to that tour, it's $10 per person. The proceeds will benefit Rose Hill Cemetery. And so this is Confederate History Day in Columbia, Tennessee. So come and see us on the 19th. I hope you can make it.
Man, I wish I could get up there. I might hitchhike so I can get up there so I can spend a day. But definitely go up to HQ that day, everybody, because it's going to be a big day.
And if you can't make it, we can see you on the date of our pilgrimage, or we hope we'll see you there on that date, and that is May 3rd. So we know that April 19th, I believe that's the day before Easter. So some people may have family commitments and not able to make it, but this is our pilgrimage date. It's always the first Saturday in May. This is our 5th pilgrimage, believe it or not. We've been doing this for 5 years. So time flies when you're having fun, Moose.
That it does.
So looking forward to seeing everybody. Mr. Ron Kendi will be our keynote speaker for that event on the 3rd of May. And we will be having all the floral tributes at the Jefferson Davis Monument this year. So we've come full circle. We've gone to all the other monuments on the property, and we're back at Jeff Davis. And really looking forward to that. It's going to be a busy day. Not only will the pilgrimage be going on, but we'll also be having Camp 29, which is our local camp in Columbia. They're hosting a car show on the property this day. So I hope y'all can come to that as well. So come for the Confederate Memorial, stay and see the cars. So there'll be a lot to do, a lot of food trucks. So we're actually going to have food there on the property this year, which is big because, before if you got hungry, you had to leave, go get lunch, come back. We'll have lunch there for you that day if you want to go visit the food trucks.
I'm not going to lie to you, Adam. I was coming for the pilgrimage anyway, but I see another reason why I should come, and we've talked about it before. Mm-hmm. The mobile cigar lounge. Oh
yeah, that's got me excited too. If anybody gets to looking for me, they'll be saying, "Hey, where's Adam at?" You'll see a cloud of smoke over there, and you know where I'll be at. So.
Well, I mean, at least you're honest.
So it's going to be a busy day. Really looking forward to May 3rd. I think it's going to be a great day for the Southern Heritage Center. Any day that we can get people on our property is a great day. And, the car show brings in people that don't normally come because, people that aren't interested in Confederate history, but, hey, they love cars. Once they come to see the cars, we're going to educate them about Confederate history. It's a win-win for us. So we're getting them on our property, and once they're there, hey, we can teach them a thing or two.
It's the name of the game. And I think we have one more event to talk about.
Yeah, we have one more, I think. Well, this goes along with the pilgrimage. Every year people like to bring wreaths or other flower arrangements. But if you want to bring something that you can leave at headquarters and we can plant, here's a list of things that we would like to have on the property. We have, of course, gardenias, cherry trees, tulip poplar trees, dogwood trees, viburnum, jasmine, lilac, looking for some oak leaf hydrangeas, rhododendron, and forsythia. So those are just some selections that you can make that would be period correct for planting around Elm Springs. Or tulip poplar trees are really fast growing, and we don't have any shade over at the museum. So we're thinking find something that's fast growing, and tulip poplar trees are indigenous to this area in Tennessee. All the floors in Elm Springs were made out of poplar. So I'd love to see some poplar trees back on the property. They cut them all down when they built Elm Springs so they could cut the wood up for the floors. So just some suggestions of things you might bring with you. You don't have to bring anything. We just love to see you. So make plans to attend the pilgrimage on May 3rd.
I can't wait. I'll either be there for floral tributes or other duties. I have to talk to a certain CIC about that. Speaking of officers, looks like Mr. Ron Kennedy switched in from YouTube, and Jamie Graham said it's good. He's honest.
Good to see Commander Graham on the chat tonight.
Yeah, it's always good to have Commander Graham on. Fun fact: him and my little brother share the same last name.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Commander Graham, it's been a pleasure getting to know him since he's been on the GEC. He's a great guy. Of course, Ryan Kennedy's in the chat. He's going to be our keynote speaker on the 3rd. He says we ran out of good speakers. That's why we had him. No, that's not the case. Everybody loves to hear the Kennedys. So looking forward to having him there on the 3rd. And we're going to have a great event that day. So we do have a cypress tree already at Elm Springs. We have a bald cypress that is probably one of the biggest trees on our property. It's right in front of the house. And I don't know how it survived all these years, but it has. I'm not going to ask any questions on that.
Well, yeah, and you also have a random magnolia tree. Let's not forget about that.
Yeah, random magnolia
from the Mississippi division.
Yeah. So.
And Jamie says that he has us all fooled. Dag Nabbit, if I knew that you were fooling me, Commander, I wouldn't have volunteered to work with you. But I'm joking. Commander Graham, we'll be scheduling to get you on soon. We'll be getting all the Army officers on soon. So I can't wait to have him back on again. I have missed our Commander Graham. He was very funny to have on the show. It was chaotic, kind of like me and Adam. It's a train wreck, but you really can't look away.
Hey, I thought we've been doing pretty good tonight. This is we've kind of stayed on track.
Oh yeah, it's really like weird. I don't know if we've done this in the history of Hearth and Home. We usually go off the rails at some point. Wait, okay, all right. I got two things. First off, all right, we have a tree that's won an award. Is that correct?
Yes. We have a large red oak. It's a shoe-marred oak that's in our backyard at Elm Springs. And it is the Tennessee Grand Champion tree. It's the largest of that variety in Tennessee that we know of. Until somebody can find another one bigger, we're the Grand Champion. And then we have another that's been designated as a historic tree. It's the elm tree that's in our backyard at Elm Springs because it was a witness tree to the war. It was standing there during the war between the states. And I'm sure the shoe-marred red oak was too, as large as it is. But both of those would have been witness to the war and the Confederate cavalry riding in to save the day.
That is just some of the cool history you can get when you come up to our HQ. And trust me, if you're there and you can get Adam to give you a tour, it is the best thing ever. But he does withhold tours from certain people.
Yeah, very few. Mainly Moose.
But I do want to agree with my dad here real quick with a big thank you to you, Adam. and all who have worked to turn that once empty museum into a building, into a true museum. Not only that, but all the work y'all do for our headquarters. And I mean, I know you, Kayla, and Eric, everybody there. I'll forget someone if I try to go through down the names, but y'all all work your butt off, and we can't thank you enough. And I can't thank you enough for coming on tonight, even though you have a super busy month and week.
Oh, that's all right. Glad to do it. And thank y'all. It's been a pleasure. I've enjoyed every minute of it pretty much. The good definitely outweighs the bad. You think about some of the bad days you have, but when you have more good days than you do bad, it makes it all worth it. And it's really a pleasure to work for the SCV and get to work with people like you, Moose.
Oh, the pleasure's all mine, Director Southern.
No, thank you. Thank you.
And very formal tonight. But it's good to always have you on, Commander. Adam, probably one of the episodes I look forward to the most, simply because I do know at some point it will be a train wreck, and me and Adam will talk about something that has nothing to do with our wonderful HQ, our museum.
Yeah. So we actually had an episode on point tonight. So that's good.
I think we deserve a free cigar when that cigar shows up at the pilgrimage.
I think so. We might be able to work something out.
I think our commander-in-chief, I know he's busy and he's not watching, so he can't defend himself, but his twin brother's watching, he can tell him, has to buy us cigars for doing our job tonight, Adam.
I'll let you work that one out.
I don't want to be put on the do not reinstate list. I'm good. But yes, I'll agree with my father again and past Commander-in-Chief Jason Boshears. We have a fantastic staff at HQ that really works hard, and I always love going up there to help what little I can do, whether it's move furniture, get hit with a corn dog, or help Adam move something, or just help with filing or moving stuff, because y'all do so much. And I know it's not much, but I do like coming up there to help and spending time with y'all. So again, thank you for everything you do, Adam.
And
everybody else.
Thank you.
Yep. And I guess without further ado, make sure to share this episode out so everybody gets their update about what's going on at HQ and the wonderful stuff that's happening up there. And, of course, they get to see the Baseball Hall of Famer, Adam Southern. And make sure to tune in this Thursdays for Commander's Comments, where we'll have Commander-in-Chief Walter D. Donnie Kennedy on to give an update that what the SCV leadership has been doing. I'll get it out eventually. But it will be at 7 p.m. Confederate Standard Time, same Confederate channel. So make sure I see you this Thursday. Again, make sure to tune in tomorrow, April 1st at 12 o'clock on your lunch break. If you have
It's a lie. It's April Fool's Day.
I didn't even think about that when I put the episode on there. I should have. Yeah. I should have told everybody, but I didn't, and I'm going to regret that now. But tune in. We have a video of Army of Tennessee Commander Carl Jones talking about why the war was fought in a wonderful program to start off April, Confederate History Month. And then every Wednesday, we have a rerun of some of the best SCV chat episodes that we have. Again, talking about the veterans, bringing honor to them and what they've went through. Again, that will be happening. And, of course, we have a stacked Monday show and a stacked Tuesday shows this month. So make sure to keep in touch on SCV chat on Facebook and Instagram. And make sure I see you Thursday. So Eric's late. Eric, I gave you a compliment, and I will never do it again. You're going to have to rewind it because you were late. But no, thank you for showing up, Eric. We're all late sometimes. You can rewatch it. I did say nice things about you for once. You know, me and Eric, he bullies me. let's put that on there. But if anybody's got anything else to say to Adam, our wonderful executive director, please thank him again for coming on. And I guess without further ado, thank you all for tuning in. And remember, chat heads, no fumar in the elevator. Good night, everybody.